Hey yo man, this is my first song, dropping right now on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitch is on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on the dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She ain't different. You an ogre. She like something. She like the time on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on the dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She ain't different. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some freaking fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another podcast. Today we are going to be hosting the one and only John Ferguson. And anyway, if you don't know him, he's a SoundCloud rapper. He's just recently started. He came out with his first song on Christmas Eve, and apparently he's thinking about, apparently he's going to make a stream. What am I saying? He's going to be coming out with a new video this evening. And, yeah, so, here we have with us, Bo and, of course, John Ferguson. And,
Sup?
Yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
introduce yourself, John. Tell us a little bit about yourself, just a brief overview.
Well, I'm John Ferguson. I am Be Real, uh, the one and only. And I released my first song, Ticonderoga, on Christmas Eve. And I'm going to be releasing another song titled Drinking Lean either today or tomorrow, depending on if I'm chill. I mean, it's all.
Yeah, yeah. So, John, what inspired you to become a SoundCloud rapper?
Well, I mean, I was I was sitting around, and I was listening to one of my favorites artists, Young Gravy, and I believe it was the song "Rotisserie" with him and Baby No Money. And I realized that Young Gravy, he started out on SoundCloud, and he's pretty good, and he's making it big. I thought to myself, well, I mean, he did it, I can do it. I'm younger, I have a lot more time, you know, and I thought that, I'm in music, I do stuff, band and all that kind of stuff. Well, I thought I'd, you know, give it a chance. And so far it's doing pretty good for me.
All right,
Yeah.
so your latest song was called Ticonderoga, and I'm not exactly sure what that means. I mean, I know there's a pencil called Ticonderoga, but where
I
Well,
exactly
was
did you
I
get
was
your
wondering the exact same thing. I thought it was
well,
a genitalia reference,
like? Did you
but then
okay, that's something that a lot of people have a misconception with, honestly. Only a couple people have actually, realized what it actually means. But first, I'll tell you how I came up with that to be the name of my song. So I was sitting down in class one day, and I was talking to my friend, and I was like, "So what should I make the name of my first song?" And I was sitting there looking around, and then I just looked at my pencil, and there it was, Ticonderoga. And uh, so that's how I got the name of my song. And what? So in the song, I talk a lot about uh, sexual relationships between a man and his friend's girlfriend, and then later on his mom. And it's basically about this guy. He's stealing everything away from this guy who is his friend. And so the metaphor Ticonderoga uh, comes from a pencil being made of wood.
can't
I
read
And
was
this
yeah,
paper?
I was
it,
pretty close as far as the me.
yeah.
So, John, what? How did you come up with this story? Like how? Like how? I
Well,
mean, what?
I mean, uh,
Is it
coming
based
up
on a
with a
true story?
story, I wish, but no. But to come up with the story of a song and a rap song in particular is
Mm-hmm.
not that difficult once you get down the concept of the first lines you'll be saying. And once you have the first lines you'll be writing down and saying, uh, then you just you spring off from there, and you just keep adding on and erasing what you don't think is good and replacing it with better, and the story just comes out. And uh, I thought about my metaphor for the title, and so I just I came up with that story, and it was also kind of inspired by a lot of Young Gravy's music as well, because the plot details concerning my song are quite similar to a lot of what his music is about too. But I'm breaking away from being so close in style and what my music will be doing as
Mm-hmm.
to him. Uh, so yeah.
How so? How are you gonna change it up?
Well, my newest song that I'll be releasing, "Drinking Lean," is not well. Okay, it's kind of similar, but it's also a lot more different. it has a different style of beat, a different style of like the way you're saying things, a different like voice type, uh, and generally, Young Gravy doesn't talk about drugs or anything in his music. So me bringing that into the picture, along with a little bit of what he's already talked about concerning topics, uh, is a step forward in a direction of splitting away from that. And after I release Drinking Lean, I will be releasing a lo-fi hip hop song uh, titled "Only Nah Old Love," and I haven't started writing it yet. I've just come up with the lyrics and I've gotten a beat. Uh, and that's going to be more inspired by Joji, who recently split away from his Filthy Frank and Pink Guy stuff.
Hmm. So you're pretty much just a mix between Young Gravy and Joji.
You're cutting out.
I said you're pretty much just a mix between Young Gravy and Joji.
Well, I mean, not really. I'm just being inspired as I'm starting out, but eventually, as soon as I get a feel for what I'm into writing about, and get my flow going, I'm definitely going to have my own style that's going to be a little unique. And so don't count on me always, being
Right.
like they are. I'm not gonna mooch off of their style, their success. I'm not like that.
All right. So
And
let's go.
where do you think that style is going to take you to, John? Like, where do you think you're gonna eventually find yourself landing?
Well, hopefully, uh, I mean, I doubt that I'll get as big as Young Gravy has, on SoundCloud or even Lil Pump or Lil Boone, but I do think that if all goes well and if my music does get listened to, spread around to a wide audience that people enjoy, that I will at least get recognized or verified, and I can start releasing official music and actually get legitimate producers and maybe even record deals and team ups with other artists like Young Gravy, perhaps. Uh, and after that, I think that if that miraculously happens, then I could be big, I could be mainstream too, and that would be a dream come true.
So what all steps are you looking at to get big? Do you have any goals? Like,
Well, really, what
cause
I'm
like
trying to do.
we got Zach Magic over on YouTube, and he's he told me the other day for $60 he paid Jake Paul to ask him or to tell him how to get big on YouTube. And Jake Paul pretty much told him like the most generic thing ever, which was like post every day and just believe in yourself. So
Is that
I've heard a
true?
lot of
yeah,
that.
it's
Did he
true.
No,
actually do that?
that's
That's true,
uh,
yes. And so what's your step? What's your goals? Do you have any you know, what
well,
steps are you gonna use to get?
well. First off, I have started talking to bigger rappers already. Like,
Like who? Give us some
well,
names.
I did talk to a guy who's not really in the rap game anymore, but he
Mhm.
was relatively big, with a few thousand, listeners, named Vinny Vento, and he helped me out. He looked at the lyrics for my first song, and he told me what was good, what was bad about it, and helped me fix that up. And he helped me get my first song down. And then I've
Okay,
started
wait.
talking to.
Did he review the line that went, "I throw your mom on the bed. She kissed my hip. I turn red." Because look, all right, I'm not trying to diss you here,
Uh,
but
uh,
the I think you could have come up with something a little bit better there. So
uh, are you referring to like
I'm
the
referring to
first
your latest
line?
song. No, it's in the middle somewhere.
I thought, yeah. What exactly do those lyrics mean,
Uh,
John?
Yeah,
Like,
like
what does
did
it
you
you
mean
mean
just
to
did
turn
you
It's
just
red?
the I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. That that's pretty self-explanatory. I mean,
all right, all right.
when she begins licking of said item, you turn red because of the sensations you're getting. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Alright, that's enough.
Now, John, I don't know if you are reading the live chat on the
Yeah, let's
on
go
the
ahead and
live.
go to chat and look at some questions. So, let me
We
find a
have a
legitimate question.
we have a question here from Dragon Blade Videos 100. Uh, ask him what it's to be an internet celebrity, which I think means ask him what it's like to be an internet celebrity.
Uh, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm really an internet celebrity yet. I'm starting to be local, and that's really, I wouldn't know about what the
Yeah.
I
A lot of a
I'm
lot of
not
people. Go ahead.
I'm I'm not an internet celebrity by any means, but hopefully maybe I will hopefully maybe one day I will get there. You know what I'm saying?
Alright,
Yeah.
on to another question.
Now, what I'm seeing in the chat a lot is things like live concerts and music videos. Are you taking any of that into consideration as of right now, John?
As for live concerts, not I don't think that. Oh, hey Caitlin, I see what you said, and I am in the chat by the way, so I can see what you all are saying. But anyways, I am thinking about perhaps maybe one day at a talent show or something, seeing if I can write a clean rap and get that working out. But but other than that, I don't think I'm going to be many live concerts unless I happen to get really big. Uh, and as for music videos, I was planning on perhaps releasing a music video along with my new song "Drinking Lean" because my friend has offered to allow me to use his WLXR recording cameras, his GoPro, and his $400 microphone to use, uh, you know, stuff so I can make a new video. And he was going to help me do that.
Alright, on
Nice.
to the next question here. Uh, Autumn Drake says, John, do you really drink lean?
What?
Uh, Autumn Drake says, John, do you really drink lean?
Uh, well, I wouldn't say that I drink legitimate lean. I have my own concoction, which uh, a friend told me I should instead call pimp juice or something like that, because it in fact has the opposite effects on you of lean, and it is just a bunch of sugar. It is Sprite, two
Are you
red
referring
Jolly
to?
Ranchers. What?
So you're just talking about mixing a bunch of candy in a bottle?
Well, no. It's Sprite, two red Jolly Ranchers, two blue Jolly Ranchers, and two green Jolly Ranchers, and then you mix in enough grape crush for it to turn purple, and it actually tastes really good, but especially with ice. And but I will warn you that it is literally just sugar as in liquid form, and that's exactly why it has the exact opposite effects of what real lean has on you. It actually speeds you up.
Um, Alright, so, let's go on to the next question. Who are you doing a
Uh,
collaboration with if you are anytime soon? Says Joseph Hirschman.
Uh, well, collaboration wise, I was talking to another school rapper who is less successful. He
What's his
wanted
name?
to do a
Just say his first name. I'm sure we could relate.
Billy, and
All
his
right.
rapper name is
Mm-hmm.
Lil Bill. And
oh, little
I
Bill.
yeah, I don't plan on doing anything with him because he has no talent and he's not good. And also there
Ooh,
was
ooh.
Oh, are you throwing shade on
oh,
here, John?
just
This
wait for
is
my next song. I talk a lot of trash on him and some of the other school rappers.
All right.
But there's Star 67 who is Hunter something something whatever, and he and his crew are also complete garbage. They're even worse than Lil Bill, and they have absolutely no talent.
Wow.
And I'm
Wow,
going to
John.
wipe the floor with them.
And how are you
John.
And
gonna
so
You
do
are
it?
no, I do
throwing.
not plan. I
John,
don't plan
you
on
better be
working
able
with
to
them.
back yourself up here. You can't
I
cancel
will back
us.
myself up.
How so?
You just listen.
So you're
Whenever my new
gonna
song comes out, I will prove everything to you.
wait? Is that new song coming out tonight? You said
It could be coming out tonight or tomorrow, depending on how
tonight or tomorrow.
editing
Will it
goes.
be on both YouTube and SoundCloud, or will it just be on SoundCloud?
It will be on SoundCloud most definitely, but YouTube has been a little bit of a jerk when it comes to uploading videos that I've been trying to make. I did have a video for Ticonderoga, but it wouldn't allow me to put it on YouTube for some reason. So when I do remaster Ticonderoga, I will make a new
Oh,
video
so
for it and hopefully get that working.
there's a
And then
remastered
hopefully
version. So
I
what?
am going to remaster it.
How so? Like, what are you gonna?
Well, the main problem with Ticonderoga uh, was that my voice, the uh, the audio for my voice and the balance between it and the beat was off, and I did edit it at first, and get it, and I got it really good, and but then the my editing software went a little bit haywire, and it it didn't work out, and so I had to stick with what I already had, and that was unfortunate.
I
All right.
see.
Um, Bo, you go ahead and ask him your next question. Um,
Okay, let's see. What do we have going? So, oh gosh, I'm seeing some questions about, well, basically about your virginity in short, because you sing a lot about the sex. So I guess people are just curious about whether or not you know what you're talking about, so to speak.
Uh, I do not condone at all like what I have sang about in my first song. Uh, actually, I'll take that back. Any guy who can get to the point uh, of piping not only his best friend's mother but also his girlfriend will get a high five from me. So that can be a challenge, but have fun getting there,
All
and
right,
it's also not going to be
everybody
good.
listening, all right? You heard it first from John. You pipe your best friend's mom and his girlfriend, you get one high five. One free high five
is
for
that
ruining your friendship with your
Yeah,
best
and then
friend.
you get your butt kicked by whomever your best friend was.
hey? Sounds like a good trade-off to me.
It does. I would take that deal.
All right. I'll go ahead and bring up my question. So, how did you come up with your rapper name, B. Dot Real? And
Well, B dash real.
B
So,
dash Real.
all
All
right,
right.
that is also an interesting story. So, you know how I came up with the name of my first song? Well, I came up with that, it was randomly. I saw something and I made it, my song's name. So, I was talking to another friend about what my rapper name should be when I was first starting out, and he he was replying in jokes and stuff, and I said, "Come on, man, be real." And then it took me a few seconds, and I was sitting there, and then I looked at my chat, and I said, "Whoa, I'm a freaking genius! There it is, be real." And so I changed up the spelling, put in a B emoji, and there you go, be real.
Hey. So, but you always tell people to be real. Does that like mean something? Are you saying like no,
Yeah,
don't be
yeah, yeah,
fake. Always be real.
yeah. Like what I'm saying, I have a thing where I am in person. I am completely honest. about most everything. That's just me. I don't sugarcoat. I don't white lie, and that's one part of it. But I also encourage the people who are listening to me, who people in general, just to take themselves seriously, to take everybody else seriously, and just be real. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Oh
be fake.
yes. Oh yes.
All right. So, um, moving on, we have what all experiences have you had, if any? Like, what are some life experiences or even recent experiences with rapping has brought you to this point?
So experiences that have brought me to rapping, or just I don't
Just
understand.
life experiences in general. Like how have you gotten here to being a rapper?
Well, okay. So when I was 8 years old, my dad left to Canada, and he started his own family there. And back once since then, and he doesn't oral texts, and I'm I have neutral feelings on him. I don't hate him. I can't like him really, but I mean I still care about him as my dad. But after that, my older sister, she moved away. She was 8 years older than me, and so it was just me and my mom in the Hinkle Drive apartment number 37, I believe, if I can still remember. Uh, and I was stuck there. And one thing my sister failed to mention to me before she went is that my mother had uh, bipolar disorder. And now that it was just me and my mom, I didn't know to make sure that my mom would keep taking her pills to stay okay. And so eventually she lost her mind, and I had to live with her through that for a year and a half, I think. And the house was completely trashed. There was barely any room to walk around. She would go around looking at the walls, saying that they would collapse around. Um, she thought that like the government would like spy on us through our phone and on cameras and stuff. Like whenever we went out, she thought that everybody in the neighborhood was out to get us. Um, she made me go out in the morning in like the freezing cold when I first woke up just to go and collect cigarettes for her from the neighbors. And she rarely let me outside to hang with my friends. And so when I did get to go outside, I had there was one thing that I basically did with my friends since we were in middle school mostly. Uh, and that was we would physically fight to deal with everything, especially me. And uh, it kind of became a gang, and there was uh, that I could name the people who were kind of in it, but I don't feel like it.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
there was one person in specific who uh, could have and did bring drugs into the picture, but I stayed away from that. And if anything, I tried to help him and get stay away from that stuff and become a better person. And his mother is still, she still, she cares about me to this day, kind of like a second son. Uh, but after about a year or so, one of my teachers found out, and the police came, and they I left and I live with my grandparents now, and my mother has gotten better. She takes pills and she's living in her own apartment now, and it's all good. I visit her every now and then, but it's all good now.
All right.
And yeah, that's basically my story, the story of my life, really.
All right. So it's like a little uh, autobiography here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's there's there's some more stuff that there's definitely things that I could go into. Uh, a lot more details regarding later on, especially like after middle school, moving into high school, and the lingering feelings that that I still have from that,
mhm.
and and some of my experiences that I've had like while in high school, but that's a completely different question.
All right.
Hmm.
So, um, we have a question here. Caitlin Winling says, "Ask him if his social life has been any different since he started rapping. So, has it gotten better, worse, the same?"
Uh, well, since I started rapping, I kind of forced myself to communicate with more people, to get more of an outreach, and I also felt like making more friends, and like stuff like that. And so I started using social media a lot more and talking to a lot of more different people. And so I've made a few more acquaintances, a few more friends, and that's good. Uh, there have been a few people who have, made fun of me, teased me, but I'm not gonna let them slow me down. I honestly, I don't care what they have to say. Um, but it's improved a lot.
Well, that's good.
All right. Do you have any questions, Bo? Still got a few more
Uh,
here, but
I can see that Titan is getting quite triggered in the chat because we are ignoring
Even
some
if they
people
are
who are.
not legitimate questions, you should ask them, not ignore them.
Hey guys, if you want to ever tease Titan, just make sure to yell Maverick, and it'll trigger him pretty bad.
Like Logan Paul Maverick,
Oh no, well, I mean, I
or
can
is it
explain the
something different?
joke. Kyle
Oh,
Bess, I heard this from Kyle Bess, but it was about people always name their car like female names, and
yeah.
so Titan was like, "Yo, I'm gonna give my car an awesome name," and uh, and then he's like, "It's Maverick," and that kind of became a joke. So screaming Maverick is it's kind of a meme, just like how baseball has affected Joseph's mind so harshly. Sad.
That's true. I
Yes.
stand by a firm belief that not making the baseball team last year has completely driven Joseph insane.
Yeah, it definitely has. I'm pretty sure that the only reason he still is somewhat able to survive is that Mr. Friend favorites him,
Oh,
and that's not a good thing either.
that's not a good thing. Uh, I don't have Mr. Friend, but I don't
You don't
really
want to.
want to have Mr. Friend
yeah,
either.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend that.
All right.
Just from what people
So
say, he kind of gives me like an interesting vibe. I don't think I should go too much more
uh,
into that.
All right, yeah, let's just keep it at
needless to
that.
say, yeah, yeah. Let's move on.
And I got a question here. How does your music influence others, and how do you think it influences others, if at all?
So how does my music influence me?
Now, how does it
Uh,
influence other people? Are you trying to influence other people in a good
uh,
way or bad way?
well, with my music, as in for the legitimate rap songs like Ticonderoga and Drinking Lean, I do not intend for them to, be affecting people or to influence them in any way. I do not want any people here, my fans, my friends, to be engaging in that sort of activity, unless this thing. But other than that, for I do plan on, however, influencing my listeners with my lo-fi hip hop music, which I'm gonna start doing with my song Old Love, and that's going to be talking about some more of my high school backstory. It's going to be about some of my experience, especially like with relationships in high school, and how it's affected me later on after it's all over. And that's going to be a way to, perhaps I want to help people deal with that, that sort of heartbreak, those sort of feelings in a way where I can reach them not only in a way they enjoy, but also in a way that speaks to them personally.
All right. Fair enough. Bo, do you have any contributions to the conversation?
Uh, Not for this particular part of the conversation. I think that we might want to call the intermission before we switch over to the political things.
Well, I've got one more question before that, and then we'll go ahead and switch
All
over
right.
Okay.
and ask some questions. We'll play a song a couple times, take a little break, go over in our chat exactly what we're going to be doing. But the last question here is, how far do you plan to bring your career, and why?
How far do I plan to bring my music career and why? I enjoy music, and that's what I do. That's the one thing I'm really good at. Because I'm not really good at sports. I'm not too tough. That's my thing. And so I plan on continuing this for a long time, most. Uh, and I do hope that I at least am able to be verified and monetized so that I can at least make a decent living off of what I do. But I also plan on and doing this as like a side thing to keep me happy.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and go into an intermission, but before we do that, we're going to do one more chat question. So go ahead and type your best questions, and we'll take about a minute to review them. We'll ask the question to John, your best one, and then we'll go into a short intermission for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more of his political ideas, because I'm sure most of you watching this have seen his Instagram page, or what used to be his Instagram page, or his just heard about it elsewhere.
All right.
Yep. Totally heard all of that.
So, on intermission, are we going to be playing my song?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Okay.
All right. I think the best question I see right here is, John, can you do a freestyle real fast for us?
Can I freestyle?
No, can you do a freestyle for us? We're not asking if
Can
you can.
Can I do a freestyle?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not at that level personally yet. I do plan on practicing that after I do release these next two songs, though, because people seem to think that freestyling uh, generally describes how good you are at rapping. I personally don't think freestyle has to do anything with how much talent you have, but I am more of an artist. I sit down and I write my music and I think about it and I make sure that it's good and it connects with people before I spit it out.
Before the intermission, I have a question for the audience. Would you like me to freestyle instead?
Oh no.
Just type in the chat if you guys want me to freestyle. Oh, Zach's Daily Life. Nice if you could join us. Hold on.
By the way, Zach has cancer.
Well, I heard that he caught the big gay.
Oh, I
That's
heard
why he
that his
wasn't able
mom's.
to make the show tonight, because I heard he
Yeah,
caught gay.
I heard his mom gay.
He
His
caught it.
his mom got the big gay, and she does not know the way.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Okay,
Alright,
so we're
Nano
just gonna.
spammed no, but I put him in timeout for a little bit so he wouldn't
Yeah,
be
I
scared.
see
All right,
that.
well,
So,
Alright,
all
yeah,
right.
we're seeing a lot of yeses. Go ahead and
If
guess.
Bo happens to have a good freestyle, then I will, to the best of my abilities with what I do have, uh, try and drop one. But
Nice.
I'm not
Nerds.
expecting it to be good.
nerds. That's why I didn't go on here.
Alright, Bo, let's hear your freestyle.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm on this podcast. Okay. Having a blast. Okay. Zach got the gay. Okay. Did I mention Zach's gay? He's really gay. He's got the big gay. He didn't come on this podcast. He says we're a bunch of nerds, but really he just follows the herd called the Jake Paulers. Yeah. Have you heard? He's gay.
Ooh,
A.
spicy.
Hey, that was the best freestyle I've heard in my life.
You know, some people have I've mentioned doing a Joseph H roast,
Oh yeah.
and I feel like perhaps time might be. It might be the time. Hey,
Alright.
do you think it's the
A
time? Do you think it's the
freestyle?
time?
A freestyle on Joseph? Alright, let's hear it. Wait,
All
first
right,
of all, why do
Joseph.
you want to do a freestyle on Joseph?
Well, okay, Joseph. Honestly, he triggers me so bad. Like, oh my god. Like
I feel like
in band,
I'm in that boat
he's one of the
sometimes
top
as
people
well.
I hate.
Alright,
He
let's
is
go
one of
ahead.
my top.
Let's go ahead and hear the
okay.
freestyle. No more small talk.
All right, so we got Joseph Hirschman. He plays Xbox on the LAN. He ain't got no Xbox One. He's got an X360. He ain't even got $50 to spend on a thought. He ain't even got a thought to use against a robot. Because he is one. He can't even spell fire truck. He thinks it's got a Z. Man, if he got lost at sea, he'd be drowning. Because he can't swim. He's so fat. You know that?
Alright. That was a little rough, but
Oh yeah,
little
that was
rough around
bad.
the edges.
Honestly, that made me cringe. But honestly, I was just trying to take Joseph off.
alright.
Joseph has $60 in his wallet.
That's a lie, and it still rhymes, so it's not like it matters.
Anyway, all right,
Alright,
time
well,
for
Hell,
the
we're going to go
$50.
ahead into
Psyche
the
King,
intermission.
you read that, Patrick.
Psyche King. Alright, I went ahead and put that in. I feel like Zach got on his brother's account and said that.
Me too.
Yeah.
So,
Dang. Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start into the intermission. Let me just give me 1 second here.
You're gonna what?
We're gonna go ahead and go into the intermission here. So,
You're still cutting out, bro.
alright, we're going to go into the intermission shortly.
Oh wait, do you just wanna? Let's just skip the intermission. It's already a quarter till 8.
You wanna skip the intermission? Alright.
Yeah, we'll just skip the intermission, and then we'll just skip right into the politics.
Alright. Let's go ahead and play the song just shortly here. Just give everyone a little, little taste of John's fire.
Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these shit started. Be real. Talk on the roga bit. 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 Talk on the roga. Yo, bitch is on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops. Ain't got time, gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound. Huh? Man, you gonna push your game. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Your bitch is addicted. Hey, let go on my dick. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some freaking fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real.
Alright, so that was our short intermission there. We are coming back to...
Read what Titan put in the chat.
Alright. Oh no, dude. We can never have a live stream without some sort of drama going on in the chat.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It keeps it interesting. I mean, Zach Magic really brought this on himself. He could have came,
He did.
be a host. We
We
even
tried to be
offered.
nice to him.
Yeah.
Remember after school, we tried to make conversation with him, and what did he do? He tried to like slap our hand away, and he just walked. He just
He
booked it
didn't
right
even
out to his
look
car.
at us. He was out of there, dude. It's Friday. He wants to go home and make another vlog. You've got to understand that. School, no. Vlogs, yes.
Who
Alright.
needs school?
Who needs school?
I mean, who needs school?
He said he might be doing a vlog at school. He said he might. So,
Oh,
let's go.
Wouldn't he get in trouble for that?
some
Probably.
espionage. Let's do some
But
espionage.
That's not a problem, so we'll just let him do as he
'Cause-
pleases.
Yeah.
Because remember that time at breakfast? Oh wait, you probably weren't there, but one time at breakfast after first, there was this kid wearing a PewDiePie backpack, and Carrico was trying to get a video of Ethan asking him for a bro fist, and then Mrs. Knight, the counselor, came up and just started screaming at Andrew to turn his phone off.
What?
And then she was like, "Were you recording me? If you were recording me, you will be sent to ISS right now." And Carrico was like, "No, I'm just texting my mom." So yeah, if you're going around the school recording people, you'll obviously at least get yelled at by Mrs. Knight, the guidance counselor.
Zach Magic doesn't need to know that.
You're
Alright.
right.
Anyway, moving on
Just
to our
ignore that.
political questions. We're actually going to be doing a debate soon, I think. That's our
Guys,
Hmm.
who would come to Academy if I told Zach Magic to meet me there tonight?
I would.
Because his brother's throwing a lot of shade right now. He's saying that I wouldn't do anything to Zach in real life. Which, I mean, that's just hilarious whenever you think about it. Gotta be
I mean,
grinding.
you
for
only.
those
I mean, you gotta
vlogs.
pick on people your own size. I mean, you'll just
Yeah, so I don't
completely
know why
annihilate
Zach's-
him.
I don't know why Zach's sending his little brother after me.
It's probably
It's
Zach
because
and
he's
his
so
brothers.
petty. He's so petty.
Let's move on. This will be our end of the stream discussion. But alright. Moving on to our political questions. And John, would you be willing to do a debate with we've talked about with Caitlin Windling sometime in the next week or so?
I'm up for anything
Alright.
as
So
long as I can get my points across.
we're gonna go ahead and give a little sneak peek, I guess you could call it, of your your political views and such. So let's go ahead and start with so you've made an Instagram page that talks about it's like anti no, it's the BUHS Socialist Party, something like that.
The Socialist Party of BUHS, which
Alright.
later just became the BU Social.
And what inspired you to make that exactly? Like what?
My beliefs, spreading the word, clearing misconceptions,
But how did those beliefs
uh,
start? Like how what made you just wanna
morality, my own personal experiences with the government and the corrupt nature of how they deal with the economics and how it's affected me.
kind of like how the government spied on you when you were in middle school?
No, well, what happens? So uh, there's a lot of stuff going on, money wise, in which the government is taking from my family unjustly, which prevents me from getting a legitimate job because I would just make a lot less. I would make less money for my family that way. So I can't get a legitimate job. I could only work under the table, and my family barely makes enough to pay the bills and keep us decently fed.
All right.
So it's it's not only that, but it's also a moral thing. Uh, it's perfectly moral.
All right. Um
I mean, I'm not
and
saying that any one political party is, inherently immoral. I mean, there are some that have, some interesting beliefs, such as the Nazi Party, so on and so forth. But I don't believe that socialism is necessarily the answer for unfair taxation. Um,
Well, I'm
the
not
income
saying that
tax.
unfair taxation is the big problem either. It's only something that has affected me in a way, and which would give me reason, apart from the moral part of it, to believe in what I do. But there's also a lot of other things, not just with the government, that goes along with what I believe in.
and so what how do you plan to uh I don't know, maybe create your own communist government?
Well,
Like,
there's a difference between socialism and communism,
all right.
which a
What's
lot
that?
of people do have a misunderstanding of. They tend to think that it's bad because of all the Red Scare, when in actuality, it is meant to be the answer, the better call, and the movement to a better future, a perfect future uh, after capitalism. And so, what socialism is a society in which all people, the way that I have taken it to be, is that all people uh, work not for there's no companies, no private businessmen. Everything is owned by people, which is run democratically, such as mills, mines, farms, factories, etc., etc. Uh, and they run it democratically, how they see fit. And the abolition of social class also begins, which eliminates uh, the poor versus the rich type of thing. uh it like the cliques in school, you've got like the nerds and all that kind of stuff. So it tends to move towards getting rid of all that and unifying people as one working, people who are all in it together, and believe in each other and support each other. And after that, its other goal is to progress and prepare this said nation for communism. Uh, and communism is a state in which there is no currency. All people are equal. Everything is free that you need to live, and all people work the people that can work or choose to work are working to keep the flow of the items that are that people need to survive and to use in general flowing. I mean, just because people aren't making money doesn't mean they can't stop producing uh you know beds and all toys and all that kind of stuff, and candy and televisions and all that kind of stuff. So instead they'll be producing that stuff for the betterment of the people, to keep the people happy, satisfied, and they'll be working for the happiness of each other, for the benefit of society, and for the progression of their society. And there is no government in the sense that we see it. And in this, all people are it's democratic, and they elect. Well, they form these things called what's it called? Kind of like a union, uh, in which they elect representatives to said union, which all meet together as sort of like a provisional government, and they decide, what all's going on, how to keep the factories and everything running, and keeping all the people in the best conditions, giving everybody a good life, instead of some people being homeless and starving and without a home. So it's basically about making sure that everybody has a right to food, a home, a bed, clothing, happiness. People can choose whatever job they want, so long as they have the education for it. That's also another thing. Education is completely free. Uh, it's it's about the removal of unfair capitalist tactics to make money, to better themselves rather than all of the people.
All right. And
The major problem with communism in general is any country that touches the ocean is basically dependent upon trade. Most countries that are landlocked, all right, and this isn't like every single country in the world is going to be poor because they don't touch the ocean. But think about it. The countries in the desert in the Middle East, think about how poor they are compared to, say, the United States or even China. And you got to think, those countries are touching the ocean. Now, that doesn't go for every single country in the world that just happens to touch an ocean. I mean, think about places like India, but India is still very reliant on trade as a main form of their economy. And because most countries nowadays are not completely self-reliant, in a communist state, they wouldn't have currency to be able to pay for things from other countries. So they would have to become completely self-reliant, in which people
Well,
are eventually going to want compensation in the form of money or something that
well,
they can buy.
that is something that I can counter argue, because in communism it does not say that you cannot trade, and there's different forms of things than just currency that can be used for trade. And in communism, I'm certain that the countries would seek to use that all their farmable land immediately for farming, and all the other land for factories, etc., to keep that running. But in capitalism, they're reliant on a flow of income, which they can greater achieve by moving their businesses to different locations in which they can get cheaper labor, and or replacing said laborers with machines which do the work for them for free. And that's putting people out of jobs unfairly, which is not right. And that's keeping people
I
in their
believe
own
that is
countries
completely
from working.
fair. I believe that is completely 100% fair. It is your right as an American to work in whatever fashion you see fit. It is your job as an American to make money, to provide for the country that provides for you in the form of protection, which is where taxes come from. And though I do not completely believe in taxation, I believe that some taxes are a bit, ridiculous at times, but I see the benefit of them. I see roads, I see schools, I see hospitals, I see
But
public
what says that you
transportation.
need money to build those
wait,
things?
wait, We're kind of getting into a debate here, which is not necessarily what this is. It's more of an interview to get ready for the debate, which I'm thinking might be next Friday, next weekend. Um, eh, is that a
So
good
get
time
ready
for
next
you?
weekend.
Is that a good time for you, John?
It should be.
All right, and we got um one last one here. Would how would
I can
you?
debate him.
I think we've already got someone, but how would you? How do you plan on creating a government, communist or slash socialist government?
How would I plan on doing that? Well,
Yeah.
through persuading the mass of people who are oppressed by the government in many
Well,
different ways without even realizing it.
the mass of
Uh,
people aren't necessarily
You're
oppressed.
describing brainwashing.
Yeah, I mean,
no, not at all.
You
See, a lot of
you were
people.
too. You just said
No,
just convincing the masses of people to believe what you believe without them even realizing it. That is basically
no,
the definition of
that's not what I
brainwashing.
meant. What I'm saying is that the mass of people don't realize the bad things that capitalism has brought upon them that can easily be fixed with socialism and or communism. And
I'm just saying. I'm just
also,
saying.
I'm not meaning brainwashing. What I'm saying is like, teaching the people what it actually is and getting rid of the lies that the Red Scare brought upon about like said beliefs. Uh, and making it's about making a better world and for the individual, for all individuals, and
but how
not
would you
just
go
the
after you
upper
convince
1%.
them? How would that work? Because the government can't just necessarily switch. It's already democratic, so you'd have to overthrow it somehow.
Like I'm saying, uh, teaching the mass of people the right way, at least my view of what is the right way and what I would hope that they would become to see as the right way for a better life, and teaching them that they need to make a stand for themselves rather than continue to feed, uh, the 1%, the upper echelon, the businessmen, the rich folks, uh, and take care of themselves, and not they're pouring their work into they're making less than their work is worth, and that's not right. So, the people, they need to make a movement for themselves and realize that everything they're doing is, in the end, it's giving more to somebody who's not doing as hard a work, uh, more than it
But
is so giving to them.
what you need to realize about the top 1% businessmen in the United States of America is that they've already done the work. They wouldn't be there if they didn't work. I mean, even if it was
But
just
isn't
going
it
to
a little
college and then their dad gave
ridiculous?
them a job, they still had to work their way through college. I mean, in some respect, they had to work to
Isn't
get
it
there. That's the
a
that's the
little
beauty of capitalism. Everybody has the same equal right to work their way to the top. Some people work their way
Well,
to the top, and some
it's
people
more of
don't.
an
That's the
equal
way that
opportunity, but
capitalism
it's
not
works.
an equal outcome type of thing. Like
Yeah,
everyone
is
can
equal
work
opportunity, but not an
unless
equal
it
you're
outcome.
is
disabled, which you have the right to get.
it is completely ridiculous that 1% of the folks in this world own 40% of the wealth, while the rest of us, who most of us are doing harder, physical work that is more taxing on us as individuals, are being paid less and make less overall than they do. That's ridiculous. The wealth belongs to the people rather than the minority. All people should, that wealth should be equally divided between all folks so that all people can make a good living rather than some people being middle class, some people being poor, living in trailers barely scraping it by, and then the minority of people living it up in mansions and sitting back while their business is doing the rest of the work for them after they've gotten where they are.
All right.
Okay, I'm
So
just not gonna argue anymore. It's just kind of like
So,
not worth it at
but
this
how
point.
you never fully understood my question. How do you plan to make a government based around communism? How do you
Democratically. The change has to be made, and the people can do it. And there's nothing in the U.S. government that says it can't happen.
Uh, I'm
The
not gonna
change
turn
would be
this into a
rough.
debate here. I mean, there is, but um,
Wait. You
and
guys see in the chat where Zyke King is saying that I never leave my house?
yes,
Because that's a pretty ballsy statement considering I don't think Zach Magic has ever done a vlog outside of his living room.
all right. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap the stream up there. It's been interesting. It's been interesting for sure.
Wait. I want to send you a screenshot of something, and then you can put it up. I'll send it to the Discord.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and put John's song on one more time, and we'll be back with the wrapping up the stream. So just stick around. We'll be right back while I get this.
Hey yo, man, this is my first song. Dropping right out on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get this shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitch is on my dick. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yup, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Got a meter out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn. Hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of time, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gonna pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, let go on my dick. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She ain't different. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo, man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD. He made the beat. Remember, folks, be real.
Alright, so that is once again John's song. Go check him out on YouTube or SoundCloud rather. And it'd be great if you showed him a little bit of support. Seems like he's been through a lot, so just go follow him on SoundCloud. And he said, he is coming out with a new song either tonight or tomorrow, which should be pretty interesting. What did you say it was called again, John?
Drinking lean.
All right, and are you referring to your sugar drink by that?
No, in the song it is about the legitimate thing.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. We had up to probably we had a lot of viewers come and go. So
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, and chat's been a little
All right. Let me say something.
Little hostile.
feisty.
Yeah, spicy.
Spicy. There you go. What were you
Wait, I
wanting
think
to
we
say,
should
John?
leave the. I think we
But
should leave the stream running for a little bit, just so that way we can keep watching the chat.
Yeah, we'll keep watching the chat. We're just gonna mute the
Yeah.
stream. And we might play a little bit of Zach's music, but we're gonna let chat keep going, and we'll see how we'll see how this plays out. Cause this is
Well,
getting
okay. Well, I have one last thing to say then.
all right.
All right. So thank you all for those of you who have shown support to me and who have given me plays on SoundCloud. And thanks. Yeah, I mean, I can't say how much it does mean to me because it's getting me where I want to be and doing what I enjoy. But yeah, I mean, what I always say, just be real. Listen to my beats and spit fire.
All right, there you have it, folks. John Ferguson himself on our podcast.
Wait, so I just mute my mic, right?
So tune in next weekend for a debate, potentially. John with his political ideas versus someone else. We're talking to Caitlin about it.
Caden Calgary would be hilarious.
Caden
Yeah.
Calgary.
Uh,
We've already done one with him, though. We can't.
Yeah, I know. But holy crap, that'd be.
Read what Zyke just said.
All right.
Quote, he said you guys are nice to him at school. He said you make him mad when you talk to him because he said you are all skanks.
This guy would make a good television reporter.
Like I said,
He's like
thank
an
you
informant.
guys, and we're going to go ahead and put the song back on, and just let chat go for probably 10 minutes, maybe.
Be real.
So.
Yo, man, this is my first song. Dropping right now on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get this shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitch is on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Got a meter out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She ain't different. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo, man, that's some freaking fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out to WYD. He made the beat. Remember, folks, be real. Hey, yo, man, this is my first song. Dropping right now on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get this shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Got a meter out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches addicted. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real. Hey yo man, this is my first song. Dropping right now on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches addicted. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real. Hey yo man, this is my first song. Dropping right now on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches addicted. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real. Hey yo man, this is my first song. Dropping right out on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitch is on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be up, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yup, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Got a meter out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches, a dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my hip. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real. Hey yo man, this is my first song. Dropping right out on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitch is on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yup, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time. Got a meter out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches, a dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might already be us, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my hip. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Remember folks, be real. Hey yo man, this is my first song. Dropping right out on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get these started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Yo, bitches on my dick. Hey, Lego on my bitch. She might Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time, gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl, going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Your bitch is addicted. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head, I turn red. You getting pissy, I get litty. I'm getting busy, your mama's pretty. She hit my wood, you never would. You're something different, she indifferent. You an ogre, she like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Number 4, Be Real. Hey yo man, this is my first song, dropping right out on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get this shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Your bitch is on my dick. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time, gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl, going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Your bitch is addicted. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yeah, I got your mom on the bed. She licked my head, I turn red. You getting pissy, I get litty. I'm getting busy, your mama's pretty. She hit my wood, you never would. You're something different, she indifferent. You an ogre, she like something. She like the Ticonderoga. Yo man, that's some friggin' fire. Hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas. Shout out WYD, he made the beat. Number 4, Be Real. Hey yo man, this is my first song, dropping right out on Christmas Eve, baby. Let's get this shit started. Be real. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga. Your bitch is on my dick. Hey, let go on my bitch. She might already be yours, but she bouncing on my dick. Yeah, going at it on the bed. Suck me so hard, I'm already turning red. Yep, let's go. Me and you right now. Whoops, ain't got time, gotta meet her out of town. Driving out around, stopping at a park. Me or girl, going at it in the dark. Damn, hey, I ain't stopping now. You had your chance, but you choosing not to bet. You think you litty, but you ain't even too pretty. I'm out of town, moving to the next city. Hey, looking back, I see you looking at the ground. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but I really got a pound, huh? Man, you gon' pull up with your gang. I fucking run or else I'll never get it back. Yep, Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. Ticonderoga, bitch. She licked my head. I turn red. You getting pissy? I get litty. I'm getting busy. Your mama's pretty. She hit my wood. You never would. You're something different. She indifferent. You an ogre. She likes something.
Alright, I'm going to end the stream there. Thank you guys for tuning in to the podcast. Like I said, we'll have another podcast / debate next weekend. We'll send out on Snapchat / Instagram dates and times for that. So be sure to tune into that. And thanks, and I'll see you guys later.